Okay, back to our Zohar reading. We're still in Beresheet, verse 60. The upper waters are male, the lower waters are female. At first, before they were firmly established, they were mixed. But they were later separated to distinguish the upper waters from the lower waters. And to differentiate them, one is called Elohim, which is Bina, and the other is called Adonai, which is Malchut. One is the upper He of the name Yod-Ke Vav-Ke, which is Bina, and the other is the lower He of the name Yod-Ke Vav-Ke, which is Malchut. It is then written about them, and Elohim made the firmament, Beresheet 1:7. This expansion assumed the name Elohim for the verse, and Elohim made indicates the expansion of He, Yud, Mem, returned back to El, and merged into the name Elohim, and the upper waters. For the name Elohim is the upper waters, and the name Adonai, the female principle of Zeranpin, is the female waters. Nevertheless, since the male waters, or the letters Yod, He, Yud, Mem, were completed only by the female waters, namely the female principle of Zeranpin, the name Elohim expanded everywhere, including the female waters. Although on the second day the upper and lower waters were divided, the dispute between the right and the left, which are the letters Aleph, Lamed, and He, Yud, Mem, did not cease until the third day, which is Tiferet. The third day settled the dispute between the right and the left, as the two columns Aleph, Lamed, and He, Yud, Mem enclosed each other, and both were established properly in their places. Because of this dispute, even though the world exists upon it, it is not written, "It was good," about the second day, because the work was not yet completed on that day. So the upper and lower waters were mingled together as one, and there was no offspring in the world until they were divided into two and distinguished as separate from each other. Only then did they bring forth offspring. Verse 62. Although the separation of the lower waters from the upper waters occurred on the second day, the dispute between El, which is the right, and He, Yud, Mem, which is the left, was unresolved. Only the third day reconciled between them. Both became equal and joined them into one name, Elohim. The third day, which is Zeranpin, is the name upon which is engraved He, Vav, He, to make the upper waters Bina equal to the lower waters Malchut. Because the letters He, Vav, He are the secret of the two He's with Vav between them. The upper He is Bina and the lower He is Malchut. The Vav in between is Zeranpin, and it completes and illuminates both sides, above in Bina and below in Malchut. This was signified by the splitting of the waters of the Jordan, where the upper waters rose in a heap and did not flow down into the Dead Sea. This is the secret of the upper He of the name Yod-Ke Vav-Ke, namely Bina. On the other hand, the lower waters, which are the secret of the lower He, Malchut, flowed down into the Dead Sea, which is the secret of the lower He, Malchut, and Yisrael. The secret of the letter Vav went in the middle between the upper waters and the lower waters of the Jordan. Thus, Yisrael, the secret of Vav, of Yod-Ke Vav-Ke, received the abundance from the upper He and bestowed it upon the lower He. Verse 63. Firmament is mentioned 5 times on the second day. And the life of the worlds, which is Yesod of Zerampin, passes through them and guides the worlds through them. They are all comprised of one another. Had the central column not settled the dispute, neither would have included the other, nor be harmonized. These 5 firmaments are equivalent to the 500 years to which the tree of life, which is Zerampin, is attached to produce offsprings and fruits in the world. All the waters of creation, namely the kinds of mohin that flow out from Beresheet, which is Erech-Anpin, are divided under it and through it, into the upper waters and the lower waters. King David, who is the secret of the female principle, receives everything from Zerampin. He then distributes it down to the lower worlds of being Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, as it is written, and he distributed among all the people among the whole multitude. 2 Samuel 6:19. It is also written, you give it to them, they gather it, Tehillim 104:28. And she rises also while it is yet night, and gives food, Mishlei 31:15. Verse 64. When the disagreement was aroused through the fierceness of the left, the mist of the fire increased and became overpowering. The spirits produced from within this mist immediately congealed. They became dry and without any moisture. These spirits, which were male and female, produced a multitude of evil spirits. From this, all the might of the impure spirit appeared in all those strong spirits. This is the secret of the klipa of the foreskin. These spirits were strengthened in impurity through the violent demons. One is called a viper and the other a serpent. And these 2 kinds become one. The viper bears offspring every 70 years, while the serpent only every 7 years. But as they are joined together, everything returned to 7 years of the serpent. Therefore, the viper begets every 7 years like the serpent, and they become as if one species. 65. From herein lies the secret of Gehinnom, which has 7 names, and the evil inclination, which also has 7 names. From here, impurity expands and spreads out, and many grades into the world. And everything comes from the principle of the left, which contains good and evil, thereby makes the world habitable. From here is the secret of the holy name that is engraved by 18 letters and is responsible for the bountiful rains that feed the earth from human charity for all our blessings and for the general inhabitation of this world. Verse 66. And Elohim said, let the waters be gathered, Beresheet 1:9. The words be gathered, Hebrew, yikavu, mean that the mohin called the waters will travel in a straight line, kav, on one level without spreading to the right or left. Everything flows mysteriously from the secret of that primal point, which is Erech-Anpin, until the light reaches and is gathered in the supernal chamber. From there it then flows in the straight line to the other grades, namely to Zerampin, until it reaches that one place where everything is gathered, according to the secret of male and female. He asks, and what is that place? He replied, this is the life of the worlds, namely Yesod of Zerampin, which is the male who is united with Malchut, which is the female principle. Thus, it comprises male and female together. Verse 67. The waters mentioned in the verse flows from above, from the upper hay of Yod-Ke Vav-Ke, which is Yisrael Saba, and Tavuna. The words under the heaven alludes to small Vav, which is Yesod of Zeir Anpin. Zeir Anpin is called Great Vav, while his Yesod is called small Vav. Therefore, when the letter Vav is pronounced, two Vavs are heard. The first one is heaven, namely Zeir Anpin, and the second one is under the heaven, namely Yesod of Zeir Anpin. After the Mohin are drawn from the upper Hay, which is Bina, down under the heaven, which is Yesod of Zeir Anpin, it is written, and let the dry land appear. This is the lower Hay, namely Malchut, the female principle of Zeir Anpin, because only she was revealed as dry land, while all the other grades were hidden. From within that last grade, referring to the lower Hay, Malchut, that light that was concealed was heard and revealed. Verse 68. The phrase to one place is called Yesod because there is a connection to the union of the upper world through Yesod. The verse Hashem shall be one and his name one. Zechariah 14:9. Hence at two unions. One is the upper world that is unified in its own grades, which is the secret of Hashem is one, and the second is the lower world that is unified in its own grades according to the secret and his name one. The unification of the upper world by the secret of Hashem is one is up to Yesod. The life of the worlds, which is Yesod, is sweetened in Bina, and the upper world is connected to its unification. Because of this, it is called to one place, as all the grades and all the parts gathered there, and they become as one in it, without any separation at all. No grade unites there wholly, save this grade, in which all the lights are mysteriously covered in one desire. Up to this point, referring to the words, and let the dry land appear, the revealed world, which is the secret of Rachel, is unified with the concealed world, which is Leah. Verse 69. The revealed world, which is Rachel, the female principle of Zeir Anpin, that is located from his chest downward, is similarly unified below. The revealed world is the lower world, as can be proven by reading the scriptures where it is described in terms of seeing. I saw Hashem. Yeshayah 6:1. And they saw the Elohim of Yisrael. Shemot 24:10. And the glory of Hashem appeared. Bamidbar 14:10. And as the appearance of the rainbow, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Hashem. Yahechel 1:28. And it is known that the lower female principle, which is called Rachel, is described by the words glory of Hashem and by the particle et, the. This is the secret of the verse, let the dry land appear, be seen, because seeing applies only to the revealed world and not to the upper world. That'll be the end of that reading.